All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Eastern Historic Commission, September 28th, I believe, are we?
29th.
29th, I'm sorry, September 29th, 2020. Meeting is now open. First on the agenda, I believe, is minutes from our June meeting.
Correct.
Everyone had a chance to read them and approve. Assuming no additions, deletions.
Do we have a motion to accept the June 18 minutes?
Spencer, motion to accept.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Bishop to second it.
Thank you. And a roll call vote. Tim?
Yes. Hurley, yes.
Okay. John?
Ventresco, yes.
Thank you. Amy?
Spencer, yes.
Thank you. And Bob?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Bishop, yes. Thank you.
Before we go any further, we want to designate Bob as a voting member tonight.
Oh, correct. Yes. Thank you for that. Yep. Great.
Did we have somebody come in, Wayne? If somebody comes in, let's just take them and I don't see.
Yeah. I don't think we have.
Okay. Okay.
We still only have the one attendee, and I think that's the ECAT account recording.
All right. So let's just roll. If somebody pops in, we'll jump over to them if that happens, I guess.
Yeah, I'll try and keep an eye on that.
To get them in and out. Yeah, okay, great. Okay, cool.
So next up, election of officers.
Uh,
Go ahead.
I make a motion, the officers remain the same.
So I'm hearing Hurley motion, Hurley as chair and Ventresco as vice chair.
Correct.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second,
Okay. And roll call vote. Tim?
Hurley, yes.
Thank you. John?
Ventresco, yes.
Thank you. Amy?
Spencer, yes.
Thank you. And Bob?
Bishop, yes.
Thank you.
Wayne, is the pay the same as it was last year?
No, I think your attendance at various award ceremonies will actually, the ticket price is going to go up for you this year.
Oh, good. Okay, moving right along. Jocularity.
Jocularity. Yeah, so next up is we have an application for a certificate of appropriateness in the Ames Local Historic District for a re-roofing project at 8 Williams Street. The proposal is to replace the current asphalt shingles with new asphalt shingles. There were plans and specs submitted as part of the application. And let me see if I can open this up.
Hey, Wayne.
Yes, sir.
Just for information purposes here, how did these two roofs come to us? Through the building department?
Correct, yes.
Excellent,
The day
excellent.
they came in, the building department
Excellent. All right,
notified.
so we've closed that gap. That's
Correct.
great news. Okay,
And
great.
so the proposal is for Landmark Pro architectural asphalt shingles in burnt sienna.
And if I'm looking down at my phone, it's because I'm looking at these applications.
Yeah, I think I can try sharing a screen and let's see how badly this all goes. If you want, I can try that. Let's see.
They must have spent a lot of money on the architectural plan.
Here we go. And all right. Can everybody see the?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I don't see any major, they're using the same
John?
I'm sorry, they're using the same type of material.
Yep.
Well, it's asphalt shingle or fiberglass now, but it's
Yeah.
it's the architects, which are three-dimensional, if you will, as opposed to these the old 3-tab.
Right.
Previous conversation indicates that this is a minor change that does not require a public hearing. Is there general agreement on that?
Yeah, I make a motion that we
Okay.
accept this application and without public hearing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll second
And
it.
okay, thank you. So okay, proposed work not significant enough to warrant a public hearing. Motion from Hurley, second from Bishop. Roll call vote. Tim,
Hurley, yes.
John,
Ventresco, yes.
thank you. Amy,
Spencer, yes.
thank you. And Bob,
Yes, Bishop.
thank you. Okay, and then second, it seems like the conversation, the group is generally supportive of granting a certificate of appropriateness for this proposed material.
Yes.
Okay, so could I have a motion to grant a certificate of appropriateness to replace the existing asphalt shingles at 8 Williams Street with new architectural asphalt shingles from Landmark Pro in burnt sienna?
Motion, Hurley.
Thank you.
Second,
Thank you. Roll call vote. Tim?
Hurley, yes.
Thank you. John?
Ventresco, yes.
Thank you. Amy?
Spencer, yes.
Thanks. And Bob?
Bishop, yes.
Thank you. Great. And then stop my share. Cool. And let me close that. My fear is I'm going to hit the wrong X button and just close out the whole Zoom meeting.
Yes, I have the same fear.
Yep. So if that happens, I'll apologize and start it all up again.
We'll go down the agenda. Yes, yes, yes.
Next up is a very similar proposal for 8 Oliver Street. Again, an application for a certificate of appropriateness in the Ames Local Historic District to replace the existing asphalt shingles on the roof at 8 Williams Street with new architectural asphalt shingles. Let me try my screen share again. There it is. There. All right. And so that is for, yeah, this is the property. People are likely familiar with it. So replace the existing roof with timberline architectural asphalt shingles. They have not settled on a color. It's either pewter gray as shown here or fox hollow gray, which is here.
I got it.
Yeah,
I got it.
yeah,
Yeah, so it's a yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, this is a no-brainer too.
Yep. Okay, so motion and a second that this change does not warrant a public hearing. Is so insignificant as to not require a public hearing.
Motion, Hurley.
Okay, a second.
Second, Spencer.
Thank you. Roll call vote. Tim?
Hurley, yes.
Thank you,
Ventresco,
John.
yes.
Thank you.
Spencer, yes.
Bishop, yes.
You all are learning fast. And the sense of the group seems to be to grant the certificate of appropriateness. So could I have a motion to grant a certificate of appropriateness to replace the existing asphalt shingles at 8 Oliver Street with new architectural asphalt shingles from,
I'll make the motion.
yeah, who are these people? Timberline architectural asphalt shingles in either pewter gray or fox hollow gray. Okay, so
Bishop will make the motion.
thank you. Do I have a second?
Hurley, second.
Thank you. All right, roll call vote. Tim?
Hurley, yes.
Ventresco, yes.
Spencer, yes.
Bishop, yes.
Thank you. And then as discussed, all right, stop share. Okay. And then as discussed, there is a very late received demolition review application for the circa 1930s house at 318 Turnpike, where they're building Meadowview Commons. And as folks may remember, the determinations from the Historical Commission are two-part. First is a motion and second and vote as to whether the property is historically significant. If it is not historically significant, the building department can move forward and grant the demolition permit. If it is historically significant, then that kicks in several scenarios, either a 12-month demolition delay, a demolition subject to certain conditions for, say, a replacement structure or so forth, or it's, demolition may proceed, not preferably preserved is the term. So let me open that up and share the screen. Okay, we still just have the one attendee. There we go. Share. All right. So here's the application that came in, and I sent that out yesterday to folks.
Actually, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's down off of Turnpike Street. There's the structure in question, sort of from the 1930s. And then these are the new houses that are part of this subdivision. And houses very similar to this will replace this structure as the subdivision continues to be built.
Are these 55 and up?
Excuse me?
Are these 55 and up, these houses?
No,
No?
no, not to my knowledge.
I had a couple of questions, if you don't mind. I was actually surprised when I saw this. I actually went down and took a look at it. I thought they were going to keep this up as maybe like a common area, like a clubhouse or something. I just peeked in, the exterior looks that's pretty solid. I don't know. Tim, are you familiar with this property? Tim?
We got no voice on Mr. Hurley. Last
Yeah.
I knew, people were living in that structure not too long ago. So it was.
Oh, is that right?
They're using it as a construction office.
Right. There was residential in it for a while.
And the subdivision plan is to continue building these houses. I think roughly 3 lots will be where this house is currently. And this has been a project that's been going on for a couple of years now, this construction.
Right. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, John. The deal is we go round and round with these, they look great and this and that, but if we go back to our regulations as Wayne read them, there's no historic significance here. We have no survey. So there's, nothing we can do here. These are all painful every time, but that's the bottom line.
Yeah, the determination is if it is historically significant, and as I've said, I've not found any research that indicates that it is. It's not in any of our inventories that we've done on the town level or at MHC.
Right.
I did go through the steps of the criteria, and obviously it doesn't fit.
Yeah.
The only thing that fit was the trigger, which is the 75 years, which barely makes it.
Correct.
Over. But it is sad because I thought it was going to be a common area. I thought it was going to be a great thing. But they're going to get 3 lots out of that. Wow.
Yeah.
We stay in
Yeah.
there, so.
Talk about cluster zoning.
Yep.
Is what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with Tim's sentiments. It doesn't fit the criteria.
All right. So we need a motion, Wayne?
Yeah, a motion to find the existing structure at 318 Turnpike Street not historically significant.
All right. I'll make that motion that we find that 318. Was it Turnpike? I'm sorry.
Turnpike, yes.
Yeah, Washington Street, Turnpike Street,
Yeah, it's
Southeastern, not historically significant.
I'll second it.
Thank you. And the roll call vote, Tim?
Hurley, yes.
Ventresco, yes.
Spencer, yes.
Bishop, yes.
Okay, thank you very much. I will send out that notification to the building inspector and copy Tim and the applicant. All right.
Wayne, could you also please include a thank you to the building inspector for staying in touch with us?
Oh,
please?
absolutely. Absolutely.
I appreciate
Yes.
that. Yeah, because, for a while there, I felt like we were
Yeah.
I won't say insignificant, but we were a little bit
Yeah.
lost. Now it seems as though we're
Yeah.
found. So I'm
And
very
as
pleased
you
with that.
remember in the online permitting, permitized system, a lot of these things are coded, so that
Right.
they're caught more easily. And especially
Right.
the local historic district properties all have
Yep.
codes.
Yeah, and I'm very
Which
happy
is
with
really the big one. Yeah,
the recent stuff. So thank you.
cool. Yep, absolutely. Good, didn't lose anybody. And then next up, I think, to make sure that we hit all the really important things, in case we lose connectivity, is the Hayward Pool proposed local historic district. So folks may remember the original proposal had been 8 historically significant houses along Foundry and Morse, and the town cemetery, Pine Grove
Grove.
Pine Grove Cemetery. Subsequent to that, 3 property owners asked to not be included in the district, following our January 22nd hearing. So the final study report, which is online on the town website, has been revised to not include those 3 houses. This is scheduled to go forward to the special town meeting, which is going to be this fall, Monday, November 30. Excuse me, at the facility at Stonehill. What is that? The Sally Ames Sports Complex? I forget what it's called. Yeah. So where the June annual town meeting was held. Folks may remember the June or the spring town meeting was delayed by a couple of months, and then the warrant was simplified and stripped down as short as possible. So a lot of these articles originally planned for May have been deferred to the special town meeting this fall. So I wanted to make sure that everyone was comfortable with the final study report online, because that's going to be the final document we have going forward. And also to make sure that folks are aware of this special town meeting warrant article on November 30, to make sure that the commission members reach out to the property owners who are going to be in the district, and encourage their continued support and possible attendance at town meeting. And also, and you can think about it a bit more, but an historical commission member should present this warrant article at town meeting. These sorts of grassroots committee originated warrant articles tend to garner more support when they're brought forward by the resident committee member volunteers, rather than just have town staff do it. So if folks want to think internally about who might be best to do that. And
So back up a little bit, Wayne. So should we have one more meeting with, now there was what, is it 8 or 9 properties, including the cemetery?
there were 9 properties, including the cemetery.
6.
So there
No,
were none, including the cemetery.
I didn't
8
want-
houses plus a cemetery.
Right.
Right. So 3 houses do not want to be in the district. So now it is 5 houses plus a cemetery. So we've gone from 9 properties total to 6 properties total.
Question, Wayne or
Yeah.
Tim, with these 3 that are opting out, are they going to be able to do whatever they want to those houses, or are they still going to be under somewhat of jurisdiction to keep that district somewhat close to what it should be? Or are they going to be able to, put a rose and a bunch of thorns around it or something, if you know where I'm going with it?
They will be subject to demolition review, and they are historically significant structures.
Okay.
So that is a significant level of protection, I would think, for those properties should demolition be proposed. For other exterior changes, no, it's only if you're in a local historic district. So there would be no control over that, but there would certainly be demolition review and demolition delay.
Thank you.
That kind of actually segues me into a question we can discuss a little later, because it's a little off topic. But I know we brought this up before, and it's been a sticking point about adding some time to the demolition delay, because I don't think a year is enough of a blockage. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's no big deal. We should be maybe looking at what other towns have been doing similar to that. Maybe, inching our way up to a year and a half. I don't know what anybody else feels. Again, I'm a little off topic here, but it brings to mind what Bob just brought up. And it's like, who cares about the year delay? I don't think it's enough of an impact to say, you know what, we can't tear this down. A year and a half, 2 years would be a big enough impact.
A couple of thoughts on that. Most towns with demolition delay have shorter time periods than Easton does. So Easton is at the longer end. And as Chris Skelly from Mass Historical Commission has pointed out in a couple of the trainings that we've done for the commission and the public, demolition delay cannot and will not ever stop demolition. It's not a tool that can do that. What it is explicitly, designed to do is to encourage everyone to come to the table and discuss a better outcome for the historic property in question.
Hope that the homeowner would back out of it at some point.
Or do you really need to demolish the house? Can you achieve what you need with an addition off the back?
Okay.
That sort of thing. So if our goal, if the commission's goal is to stop demolitions forever, that's not going to happen. The explicit use of the tool is to encourage discussion, dialogue, and planning with the property owner and the commission on alternatives that preserve the structure and meet the property owner's needs and goals.
One property comes to mind where that really worked, and that was the church on Mechanic Street. I don't know if Tim.
Oh yeah, the condos. I remember those. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there was a big thing where they wanted to tear that down. The commission stuck to their guns, and it interviewed quite a few developers who saw our vision, and it actually worked.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know of another property that worked as well as that, but it does work. So.
Yeah, and there are some properties that never actually get to the point of there being an application for this commission to consider.
Greg on planning is a huge asset in getting ahead of some of these things as a developer presents it. And Greg will point out, well, you got a an old house there that we want to try to preserve, and works can help work around. And as Wayne says, keep the house and complete your project as well.
Yeah. So that's really the utility of a demolition delay, is to encourage that sort of planning, that kind of a process. And the best demolition review project is the one that the commission never sees.
Right.
So with that said, should we have another meeting with them, with the applicants that have approved us going forward with this? And should we make one more last attempt at the other?
We've had our required public hearing. For additional outreach, Tim has offered to stop by and make sure he talks with the 5 remaining property owners. And also to try again, reaching out to the 3 who declined to participate and see if they have a change of heart.
Would a letter being sent to these 3 individuals on town or historic commission stationery, just as, geez, we're wondering if you'd reconsider, contact one of the members or anything, can that be done as well to these 3 individuals?
I don't see that as being terribly useful.
I just another, possible, instead of a face-to-face where the gentleman was very angry at seeing us when Tim tried to talk to him, and we tried to talk to him at the meeting. Sometimes a piece of paper might work, but I agree with you. It's probably not, but
I don't think you're going to change his mind.
Yeah. I think the 3 who declined to participate have clear reasons for it. and a letter won't change their
Okay.
minds. I think Tim circling back and having a conversation with some folks, could be constructive.
And they may go to the neighbor themselves and say, hey, they're doing this, and if,
Yeah,
want to reconsider or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, because Rubens really did a beautiful job. I don't know if anybody's seen his garage slash looking barn that he just built.
Mhm.
Right.
Beautiful job, fit in nicely.
Yep.
He really kept it in tune with his home. It's just a disappointment that he doesn't want to come on board.
Yeah. And that might change in the future.
Yeah.
Maybe in
That's the
future
thing. They
years.
can opt in.
Yeah.
And I talked to the people at Pine Grove, but I didn't get any answers.
Aha.
Eh,
A little time, we'll all be communing with them sooner rather than later.
No back talk, huh?
no.
Exactly.
No.
Quiet neighbors.
Yeah.
So I'm hearing that the commission is comfortable with this final study report, and Tim is going to reach out to the 5 property owners that will be in the local historic district to confirm their continued participation and hopefully their attendance at town meeting on November 30.
Yeah. The goal there is to have no more bombs go off. Or any
Yes,
bombs go off.
just make sure that people are still into this, that it does have
Right.
the support of the property owners.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
There was a lot of work put together, and it looks great.
Yep. Cool.
Yes. Thank you, Wayne.
And Amy for a lot of the formatting, and
Yes.
John for the photos, and
Yeah.
Ed Hands for a lot of the drafting.
Yeah.
Definitely a joint project. And then Tim and I can talk a bit more offline about how and who can present this at town meeting in November.
Yeah.
It might be one of you,
Yeah.
so think about that.
It's not a beauty contest, so I say John should do it.
It's all about power of persuasion, Tim.
My fellow Americans.
Yeah.
I come here with a heavy hat.
Depends on the election results.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, everybody.
Okay. Is
Um,
that it? No, it's not it.
Yeah, and then there's these 2 other things to talk about, and also the preservation awards that came in. So there are the 3 concepts. So on the agenda is, and Tim can talk a little more about this. 1, we had an Eagle Scout reach out to the Historical Society with an idea for an Eagle Scout project to put up like little informational sign posts with a QR code that you could scan for more information near historic resources, several of which would be in the Ames Local Historic District. So obviously, any little structure like that, they'd want to come to the commission and get input on. And thoughts that Tim and I had were, potentially a great idea. Obviously, the design, would be key. You want it to be sort of low cost as an Eagle Scout project. So I'm guessing just a piece of black painted, pressure treated timber with an angled top and, a little board on it or something. And then some sort of a plan for follow through to make sure, the links and information remain current, and also a plan to remove them later, because it's not going to be a permanent fixture and, several years down the line.
Normally an Eagle Scout project is never removed after it's started. That's why I was just going to question you on them being removed.
Yeah, so what's the maintenance plan and the funding plan for a 100-year
Yeah,
sign?
that would be a better way to address it, because the Eagle Scout projects are very well recorded and very well recommended and high seen in society and everything else. So it wouldn't be something that you want to find a way to remove it. But they also work with everybody in the towns to help with their projects too. So
Oh yeah, no, they're great projects. I'm just folks have been to town hall, and there's the kiosk by town hall with the photos. It's been there for decades. I don't know the last time anybody went in there to do anything with it. I think it was like a Boy Scout project or something a million years ago.
No, it was at JC's.
It was at JC's.
Yeah. Wow.
All the photos have discolored, gotten wet, fallen down. They're Polaroids. Yeah, so it's like, who's taking care of that?
so part of this, Wayne and I talked about was, and I agree with you, Bob, that, I guess they should be treated, I understand exactly what you're saying, but the problem is who maintains these down the road, who updates the information on it. I've spoke with the Historic Society, and they say, oh yeah, we'll do that, but that's today. Tomorrow, if that all changes, it's just a matter of the maintenance of it, of both physical and the updates, if in fact there are any. I mean, how many are there going to be in the historic district? But again, who these projects are done. They're done well. They documented everything that Bob says. But I'm not sure there's maintenance down the road. If you went back and looked at some of these,
Yeah.
they're kind of one and done, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what I've seen in the past is usually a lot of the owners, or if it's a public area, somebody from the town or city will try and help maintain the specific item,
Right.
just to keep it. And
Yeah. So if this is
it
going to
does
be,
weigh a lot on
yeah.
the individual himself as well as society.
Yeah. So if this is going to be like on town property, is DPW actually going to maintain these things and replace
That
them?
would be something you would have to approach
You know.
with the scout and his committee. Yes.
And then
So-
something for a lot of this online information, websites shut down, they migrate, links get broken. So, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, is that code still going to link to something that exists? And how do you follow up on that and make sure that that's maintained? And, where is this?
Seems like it should just be required that whatever they build for the pages that each one goes to should be hosted on the town's website.
Something like that, or the historical society,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yes. So these are definitely things that they should think through. And I think Tim has not heard further. So at some point there may be, a proposal for us to talk about.
Yeah,
So
I relayed those feelings, I believe, to the proponent, that these are things that maybe I told him to call me and that I would let him know, but it's not something we'd spring on him if he's
Right.
and I think part of this is he's supposed to work on contacting us. We shouldn't be reaching out to him. He should be looking for us. And
Yeah.
we have returned his email or emails. So
Yeah.
I'm doing my part.
Yeah.
I'm a full participant.
On this, I'm not for temporary. I think you bring up a good point about what's going to happen in 3 or 4 years with this, and is it still active, so forth and so forth. So with that said, even if you go through with this, those temporaries, after a short time, the weather gets at them, they look like junk.
Mhm.
This could be a fundraiser, and I know they're not that expensive. And they could start out small as those anti-graffiti plaques. You've seen them. Borderland has them. Trying to think of who else that I've seen. Everybody knows what I'm talking about, right?
Yep.
They usually have like a piece of angle line coming out of the ground, and you can make those angle lines. I mean, the angle line doesn't cost anything, and you get somebody to weld like a book page of metal, and then you can put the anti-graffiti boards on. That'd be the way to do it if I was.
Yeah, the majority of a project that an Eagle Scout gets involved with, it's a whole book of every process and who's helping.
Yep.
It all gets approved. So I understand what you're saying, John, and that could be something that could be brought up by the committee, and it would be brought to the scout and his advisor. And all this other could be approached as well as, okay, what's going to happen 2 or 3 years down the road? And I'm sure this would all be addressed by the advisor and the scout himself.
It's a great idea, but again, I'd like to see something done. Easton's always done, no matter how big or how small, it's always been done really well. So to do these temporary, things on wood and stuff, I wouldn't be in agreement with.
Yeah.
Well, what if, let's just say he wanted to do 10 of these, and we said, listen, take that budget and do 4 really good ones, and place them in the ideal areas, and do 4 that will not require a ton of maintenance.
How about working on the one at the JC's at Town Hall? I mean, we brought this up a few years ago. I mean, it's really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a more, cost-effective, solution that is explicitly with a 3-year or 5-year time, lifespan is an entirely valid thing. Ways of accessing information change over time. Everybody, everyone here is probably old enough to remember, like 8-track tapes, and then, everyone
Still
would
have mine.
rent movies at Blockbuster, and now you
What are
stream
those?
things, and yeah, exactly. So,
But
it's a QR code.
Yeah, but to Bob's point,
Yeah.
Is that going to fulfill his requirement for a 3 to 5 year lifespan? I'm not so
Yeah,
sure. That's
maybe, but it's I think it's an open question. But
Yeah.
it's all kind of theoretical, really. At this
right.
point. People need to get on with their lives.
The scouts should be coming to the committees and the town with a
Yeah.
proposal, and he also has a senior advisor
Yeah.
who will take suggestions, and they will submit a whole plan to it.
Yeah.
It's very intense, so all these things could be addressed after the proposal has come before the committees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kind of a heads up from Tim on that, I guess. And then Tim brought us another item. Some folks are floating the idea of possibly donating a commemorative monument on Pond Street near the pond, with information about the original shovel factory from the 18th century that's in that area there. We've really not heard much more about it. Tim and I talked about, some thoughts would be, if it's on town land, the town would need to accept it somehow, and, DPW would have to be okay with maintaining it. If it's on private land that would be sold off in the future, then, some sort of an easement. So kind of echoing some of the things we just talked about, what is the ongoing maintenance concept for it, and obviously the information and the design. But, we've really just not heard much more about that, and I don't know if we will anytime soon.
How about we just move the tablet that's at Washington Plaza there
Right?
Yeah.
before somebody hits it? Although I thought it would have been gone a long time ago, but I think it's too high.
Yeah. You have to go out of your way to hit that thing. The proponent is David Ames, and it's quite lengthy. I don't know, Wayne, if you want to send that around to people afterwards.
Yeah, I can see if I can find it, but
Yeah.
Or you have it, you could send it as well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit of lengthy, but again, it's David Ames. It's the Ames family wants to pay for it, and they'd like to maybe tonight, if I could just get, approval from the commission that we like the idea. We're not talking about who's going to maintain it or anything else, but just that we support that. It's telling the story from the 1700s. It mentions Union Pacific Railroad. It mentions the fact that I think it's the longest running manufacturing company, as Ames is still being produced, I believe, in West Virginia, maybe is.
I cannot remember. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a good story. It's a great story, and I think they're paying for it. The only future possible cost is to us maintaining it, and I'm not so. They're putting it on their property. I don't know if you're familiar with the what would that be? The east side of Shovel Shop Pond. They call it the sluice way. It's where the water went through and drove power. That still kind of remains intact. So they want to put it down in there off the side of Pond Street.
And again, no maintenance there. If they're going to be paying for it, they can do it the right way, like to do the anti-graffiti board. And,
no, this is going to be, I believe, a bronze plaque on stone.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So at least that's my understanding of it. So.
Yeah, I don't think we actually have enough information to know anymore.
Yeah, we need file documentation.
Yeah, but I'm just looking to say that
It's a good idea.
We're we list the commission listened, and they're excited to future information. When we would surely be welcome to any, bringing it forward again. Nothing in writing, just something I'll convey to David.
Yeah. Interested
go
in the
along with
proposal, looking forward to hearing
Correct.
information and more details.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
And then in our pre-planning phone call, Tim mentioned that he and John were sort of troubleshooting the preservation awards that are commonly held in January. And there's a strong possibility that an indoor event in January may not be feasible this year for the preservation awards. And, so would it be virtual or would it be an outdoor event later in spring?
I sent an email out to my contacts in the school system.
Right.
The way it's working now, I don't have to explain. There's just so many issues. And they were a big pull, all the kids.
Right.
It just, I don't see it happening. And, I think last year we had, 85 or 90 people.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know what's the gathering now. It changes so often.
50, I don't know if they've increased. I cannot remember. You're right. It does change and I can't keep track.
I don't think it's any more than 50. I just think it's just not doable to go through the motions and then do it, for lack of a better phrase, half-ass.
Yeah.
I think, let's, we'll push it to the spring and see what schools are in. It just, we'll be just, again, it's not going to be done right.
Yeah.
I think we might end up with a little better turnout in the spring. We've got enough nice areas in the town where it could be done, and the distancing could be kept. And I think it would put a lot more people at ease, even though the indoor event is nice, but springtime.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea, Bob. Maybe have it, at Queesis Gardens or something like that.
Yeah.
That's funny, Wayne. That was Wayne's first pick this afternoon.
Yeah.
Wayne's first pick was Queesis Gardens. So,
Yeah.
John, I think, but April may be too soon. You may want to do it in May. And
I agree.
Yeah,
Who
so
knows?
we'll just kick it down the road and see how we feel about it. And, if things open up.
You got to feel it out like everything else. I thought for sure we'd be in the home stretch, but now,
Right.
saying maybe next summer is when we're going to be, getting out of the woods. But, again, this whole thing changes daily.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not going to do anything in January. It's just, it can't be done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we won't cancel it. We'll just postpone a date and we'll see where we end up.
And likely,
I like the idea. It's just, we're going to be right on top of each other for the next one. So I don't know if we just.
Yeah, but the thing I said to Wayne was, we get a lot of people doing a lot of stuff with homes in town. I hate to miss a chance to get a couple out of the way, if you will.
And I think they look forward to it happening as well. So, in the back-to-back, but I think people look forward to this thing.
Yeah.
We could combine them.
Man, well, that's assuming that you get a year, where you are a year from now, too.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll see, John. We'll play it by ear. There's no,
Yeah, obviously we can't.
If we see the schools are opening up and are receptive to it, then we, that's a biggie for us.
Yeah, it takes a couple of months to get all the marketing, get the kids.
Right.
Right. I mean, you can only push the teachers so far, and as it is, they're going crazy because of all the issues. They're 2 days off, 3 days on, 1 day off.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm hearing the annual preservation awards that are usually held in January are likely going to be deferred several months, possibly to an outdoor event in spring, likely in April or May, and we'll just reevaluate in the future as conditions warrant.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a good way to wrap that. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the idea of having Queesis Gardens.
Yeah, that would be pretty. It's a nice spot. I think that's everything in our agenda.
Good to hear.
As just something to be aware of under other, if we do have the other, as everybody knows, the Depot Street renovation is pretty close to going out to bid. And we do have the monument at the intersection of Center and Depot that is going to be moved. I don't know how that might affect us. Just something to think about.
That came before us, right? I
It
believe.
did, yeah.
But we
And
never took a vote on it.
I think the commission did make a recommendation
No,
on one of
I
the
don't think so.
proposals. No?
I think we listened to it.
I have
Right.
all of the planned scenarios. There were 3 or 4 of them,
Right.
and I don't remember taking a final vote on that either.
I mean, that goes back to Paul. What was Paul's last name?
Panakis.
No,
Panakis.
not Panakis. Paul Fitzpatrick.
Oh, yeah. The fellow over off of Pond Street. Yeah.
Right. He brought up, on that house that's at the end there, the one that's
The Reed House. Yeah.
Yeah. He said, well, how's this guy get in and out of his driveway? And they all looked at each other like, oh, okay. So at that point, we never even heard what was going to happen with that guy. And then they talked about, oh, you'll be able to park and go walk to the monument. And I said, what parking lot is this? And they all looked at each other and said, whoa, yeah, well, there isn't one, but you could, So, yeah, I was never real happy about the whole idea anyway. I guess it's obvious.
So, Wayne, have you heard anything in regards to the Reed House? Because to me, that property is going to be less valuable.
Yeah,
once-
I have not. It still remains in poor condition with an owner who's not really approachable. I don't know anything further about it.
Because he's got to be losing a piece of that frontage, and there's not much there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think again.
Approach, because I was approached. It was 116 of us that were involved in the appraisal process, and as far as I've been told, everything is moving ahead, and they're going out to bid in the next month or 2.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Well, again, I think we just got to keep an eye on it. I had these nightmares of that thing crumbling when they're moving that monument, For the last that I heard of, that was moving over towards the corner of, that was moving over to the corner of Center Street. Is that correct?
So, September 9th, 2014, the Historical Commission had Beta Group and DPW discuss draft plans with David Field. That was September 2014, September 9, 2014. And there was a conversation, there was comments. The commission took a rough poll of first impressions of the options so that Beta could get some input as to the best way to approach the project with minimal disruption to the local historic sites. The group was open to options that either kept the monument in place with traffic lanes around all sides, or options that shifted the monument north and west and aligned Center Street and Porter Street.
So no vote.
And no vote, but that was the sort of like straw poll, and that was an option that was
Yeah, but a straw poll.
encouraged.
Straw
Yeah.
poll doesn't.
So
6 years later, that's it. A straw poll.
Well, we just make sure that's brought to the attention of those who need be.
I think the
We don't have too many monuments in Southeastern, so.
mhm.
I think the cows left the barn at this point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe it's the shifting the monument north and west is what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Any news on the church?
It's basically the same.
Nope.
I mean, last I heard it was up for sale.
I've not heard, no.
Same here, we have not.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Where the old town hall used to be.
I think so. I've
Yeah, the
never
Anderson Street,
heard
yes.
it. Yeah. So what time is it? 6:20? I think we're out of agenda.
Okay.
Motion
Yeah.
to adjourn.
Okay, so Hurley motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second,
Bishop second. Roll call vote. Tim?
Early adjourn.
Interesting.
Okay.
So yes.
Amy, thank you. Bob?
Bishop, yes.
Thank you. Okay, the Historical Commission meeting is adjourned at 6:20 p.m. Great. All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wayne.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you guys for a successful Zoom meeting. This is the first
Yay!
post, so no disasters.
The one with CPA was a disaster for me, so I was happy this worked.
Right? See, we're all learning, you know, I mean, Bob's here, you know.
Yeah,
with
first time for everything, huh?
There
Right?
you go. There you go.
Yeah, I tell you, 21st century, here we are.
So now, was this recorded for,
Yes, and Karen had emailed earlier and asked if she could do the minutes from the recording, and I told her that would be fine.
okay,
And
perfect.
I've also kept notes in case something happens. I can reconstruct the flow of the meeting and put together an meeting minutes if necessary.
Okay, great.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Be well. Thank
Yep.
you.
Thank you.
Back at you. Good to see y'all. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye.